what's going on? Take a look around. It's clearly fall in Alaska, and we've already gone through basically like peak colors. All the leaves are coming down now. We've had tons of rain. Well, we've had tons of rain for the last couple months, but getting cooler, and I'm trying to fit in some more rides, you know, before the road gets frozen up and before it gets too cold. So anyway, just doing a kind of a fall ride. Got some work to do. I'm going to stop at a cafe, taking the Bandit. I've said it before, more so in comments. I'm not sure if a lot of people realize this is more my daily ride. You know, if I'm going to get out and just ride, go to work, something, then I typically will take the Bandit. If I'm doing a bigger, longer trip, or I need to haul a bunch of gear, do an adventure, then I'll take the Himalayan. So this thing's warming up. This is a 97 Suzuki GSF1200S. Still carbureted, you know. Takes a good few minutes to really get warmed up and running right. I just had some problems with it recently. Finally, I had to do a carb rebuild. Actually, two problems at the same time. I had the leaky fuel petcock, which is vacuum operated. So that was flooding the carb. It flooded a cylinder. I actually had like a hydro lock with the fuel in the cylinder. I pulled the plug, fired it up. It spit the fuel way up in the air, and that took care of that problem. Had to change out the oil, of course. And then still had carb issues, one cylinder not working, got it all cleaned out, and we're good to go. So that thing's just about warmed up. And this is the first time looking at my new house and property. So a couple years ago, right at the beginning of COVID, we bought a new house, and I'm doing a bunch of remodeling. So I actually just got the deck boards down on this new deck, making progress there. Got to get going on the railing and all that. New front door, new trim. I'm waiting on new windows so I can finish that trim, painting everything. We're getting there. I got a lot of plans. Big overhang, well, an overhang, and some cedar shingles up there in the gable. Doing some landscaping. Got to get down some gravel for the path. Anyway, I'm sure you're not too interested, but just I'm in a new place, new home, doing a ton of work. New main vehicle, new old, of course. We got another deck in the back, bigger than this one. I've been building that at the same time, and then renovating the whole house all throughout. Anyway, let's hop on this. I'm sure I'll be a little shaky, sketchy on these slippery leaves, but let's go for a ride. I'm gonna go to a cafe and do some work first, and then if it's nice enough later on in the day, I'll do some more cruising around. Oh yeah, feels good to be on this thing. Like I said, it's having some trouble, so I hadn't ridden it in a little while. All right. And we're off and away. Tell you what, let's do a little spin up Skyline. This is Skyline Drive in Eagle River. Keep seeing gravel on these turns. Plus it's wet. Little slip right there. Yeah, I got wet road, cold tires, gravel, and wet leaves. So, a little risky. Looks like they came through here and they put down fresh gravel, and then cars have kicked it up. And here we are. Beautiful day. Tons of color. Starting to fade into a brown a little bit, but there's quite a bit of orange. Looks good. Man, I tell you, when the sun is setting out over here, you know, you get that low sunlight, so you already have orange light shining in on all these orange trees. I mean, it just looks like everything's on fire. And that's how the colors are up here. We don't have a bunch of reds or magentas and pinks and things like that. It's basically everything is yellow and orange. No snow here yet, but the mountains back up that way, the peaks, they've got some snow, signaling the end of summer. Bike's running good. I'm getting low on fuel. Oftentimes when I get low on fuel, I start getting kind of like a lean running engine due to you know, performance modifications. But my adjustments are proving to be pretty good right now. And I'll have to be extra careful on my way back down. So I don't slip out on the gravel and leaves. Oh, I should be running my heated grips. Forgot. My hands are fine, but still, why not? Oh, there's some snow up there. Oh, tons of snow back up in there on the peaks. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Oh, I wish this wasn't a wide-angle camera. You'd be able to see the mountain, how close it is to me, and all the snow against these colors. It's really cool. Nice. So glad I came up here. Kind of did it on a whim. Like I said, just trying to fit in some additional rides while I have the chance. All the home renovations have, you know, I'm happy to be doing it. It's great. But they take a lot of time, and it's definitely has cut into the riding and doing trips and some things I had planned, and that was further interrupted by all the rain we had this year. Oh yeah, I'm running lean. So I have these, they're called the Long Boy fuel mixture adjustment screws. They stick out underneath. I can grab them and adjust them. Of course, you know, I don't want to be doing that all the time, but the thing that happens is, you know, I've got high performance exhaust, or high performance air filter. My box is cut open to let in more air. I've got the high flow exhaust. Got a jet kit in, and everything's tuned up to be running really good and strong and clean. But you know, I think a lot of people realize you start doing all that stuff and there's less control for different conditions, and it's not like this thing has a fuel pump, so whether it's weather or it's low fuel or something like that, you know, it can cause an impact. Elevation, obviously, it's carbureted. That felt good. Oh, a cop. And these paint lines are horrible, especially when they're wet. Still kind of breaking in these Furigan gloves. They're getting pretty well broken in. One thing I didn't realize is that they're leather and they feel pretty thin, but they actually, I guess they have a waterproof membrane. These are like a, oh shoot, I'm gonna get this wrong. They're Furigan, they're, I think, TD21 all season, maybe? And you put them on and you think, well, why are they all season? I don't feel insulation and whatnot. But I guess they're waterproof, so pretty sweet. Alright, just gonna go to a Starbucks for a little bit. Haven't been coming in much the last couple of years. But I'll be able to sit down and do a little work for a little bit. Didn't get a ton of work done. I haven't really been at Starbucks that long. In fact, I got more like replies to people on YouTube done than anything else. And somebody had to bail on a meeting. So I'm just gonna get in a little more ride and get home and continue working from there. Got sprinkles coming down now. And the cloud ceiling is lowering. I was gonna head up that way into the mountains. I guess I will. We'll see what happens. There's, you know, snow up there, but I'm not gonna be that high. I guess I'll head up there and then head home. Oh, got a, I smelled some gas when I parked, and I got just this ever so slightest little fuel leak from the carburetor float bowl. It's not even really dripping, it's just a little moist, so it's not bad, but I know what's happening. My rebuild kit was kind of cheap, and one of the gaskets, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but you get like a rubber gasket, and once it gets fuel on it or carb cleaner or something, they sort of expand. And that's what it did, so it wouldn't fit into place properly, and it has gotten kind of pinched or something, so it's not sealing off perfect. I'm gonna have to get a better kit. Nice thing is, especially with that carb on the end, I can pull that float bowl off without removing the whole carburetor. Put a different gasket on and then put it back. All right. Good for her. So, what do I got on this thing? 37,696 miles, so almost 38,000 miles. plenty of rain now, so I'm sure my lens is getting all messed up, so I think I'm just gonna turn around and head back. Well, I wish I had my Furigan adventure touring gear on. All waterproof, insulated layers. I could use that about now. Gonna see if I can find a spot to do a little walk around of the bike. Let's do it right here. Got a good view. Sort of tempted to go around back. Yeah, let's take a look. I'm sure they wouldn't mind advertising. So this is P&M Garden Services. It's our local greenhouse. Got to be one of the nicest greenhouses in North America as far as location. I mean, look at this view back here. And I can't get up close enough, but down there is all their greenhouses. The bulk of them anyway. They just got a few up here for where people shop. Pretty amazing. So yeah, let me do a little walk around. Kind of an odd spot, but why not? You've already heard it run, so I'm not gonna annoy these people by doing that. See, I said earlier I had somebody on YouTube. He's got a channel name. It's Jon Snow's Ghost. He had asked me to do a walk around of the Bandit. You know, I find a lot of people appreciate the Bandit, especially in the UK. It seems more so than the U.S. But anyway, he asked me to do a walk around. I was like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. And that was like 3 years ago or something like that, and I never forgot. The thing is that I wanted to do some improvements, and I still do, and so I didn't do it. But enough of that. Here's what I got, and hopefully I'll get some more improvements done this winter, especially with the new 2-car garage. I got more space than I used to. But so let me tell you what I've done here, and then I'll talk about what I need to do coming up. The GSF1200S has the front fairing, an enclosed front fairing just up top. So that's all been removed. Part of me is really glad I did that, and part of me kind of misses it because that front fairing gives it this like retro style. It's actually kind of cool. So in a perfect world, I'd have this one set up as it is, and then I'd have another one with the old fairing. But I did all this myself. Got a custom bent bracket in here for the headlight, bought the headlight unit. All the wiring that was inside the fairing, actually all stuffed right in that headlight. So just if anybody's curious, I didn't have to modify any of the wiring or anything like that. It's just all stuffed in there. I believe I got some sort of LED light from online, Amazon or something. I think I did a video where I actually talked about this fly screen. And a couple of little tiny things are not perfect, but it's pretty good. And the bend in this bracket, so I bought these brackets, and then I just put them in a vise and I heated them with a torch and then bent them as needed. Oh, yep, I was saying earlier I need to do some maintenance on these forks. Look at that, getting a little bit leaky over here. Other side's good, but need some new seals, new oil. So yeah, I need to do that maintenance coming up. Anyway, when I changed all this, I did braided line, but you'll notice that it's sticking outside. It should be running in here. I left it like this because I realized, it's a good inch or two too long. So I've got all this extra. So I'm going to get a shorter braided line on here and then run it in here so it's not sticking out. So that's coming up. What else did I do? I already have a video on putting on these risers. So they bring the bar up and they bring it back a little bit. And that just keeps me from leaning forward so much and putting so much weight on my wrists a little. And what else? Then I did, this GP style, old, I guess maybe what you'd say a vintage GP style exhaust, stainless steel. Got that on there. It's got a K&N air filter. The air box has an extra 1.5 or 2 inch hole cut in it, letting in more air, plus the K&N air filter. Got a stage 1 jet kit. Needles raised up like, 4 or 5 little washers or so. That was quite a task, getting all the tuning just right, because I'd have to set it all, go ride, come back, take the tank off, take the top of the carbs off, do the needles, put it back, go ride again. I mean, it just took me so many times of taking everything apart to finally get it good. What else is happening here? Oh yeah, these bullet style turn signals. And then the fender here, somebody might look and think that that's all stock, but it's not. That fender's supposed to come down way down here. So I cut it off, but the way I cut it is, you'll see here, kind of cut it in a shape that looks more like natural, the way it might have actually been done, instead of just hacking it off. It's got some curvature to it that flows with the actual shape of the plastic, and so it's gone mostly, but there's still some there. So obviously I didn't have to mess with light positioning, wiring, any bracket for the plate. Didn't have to change any of that, but gave the rear end a little bit of a cleaner look. Quite simple to do. That was really easy. And the thing's got its battle scars. Somebody at one point in time, they had like a rear cargo rack that they built themselves. In fact, they sort of welded it in place, and you can't see down in here, but they melted some of the plastic while they're welding. Whatever they had was rubbing through here. You know, this scratch. So, a little bit of scarring, but overall in pretty good shape. I believe this was also getting worn right here from cargo bags. But, it's looking pretty good. So the goal is to, you know, keep it in good shape. Maybe get some plastics replaced or something like that. Or, I don't know if I could get a good enough paint job. Get some things fixed up a little bit. Because really, I mean, now it's what, the bike is 25 years old. So at this point, if I can, you know, get it looking almost new again, that'd be really great. Kind of take care of it while it's worth taking care of. My manifold here is starting to show, you know, some corrosion, especially down low. Nothing real bad, like nothing rough, nothing with like a texture, but certainly a discolored area. So that's something I'd like to do this winter, is get it all polished up. So basically, you know, things are set the way I want them for the most part. Just a couple little small things to finish off, clean up. You know, I've got a little bit of paint work that could be done on the engine. I don't think that's something I'll mess with anytime soon. I could take care of this stuff a little bit sooner. Obviously, somebody at some point in time has put the bike down. Same thing on the other side. These covers are kind of scratched up. But that's the machine. And I guess that basically concludes the walk around. And back to the humble abode. Well, thanks for doing the ride with me. Now let's get a little more. Let's do one more little sound for you. I really don't like annoying people, but here we go. Yeah, this thing's tough. Still running a little lean, which is interesting because it wasn't so lean, and then I did the carb rebuild. All the components and settings are the same. Thought I had a leak there, but it's just it's cold out, and then there's water on, you know, rain water on the radiator. Or, I mean, yeah, the radiator. But anyway, it wouldn't be a leak anyway. It's not, you know, it's not liquid cooled. So, it's oil cooled. That's just an oil cooler. Oil and air. Yeah, anyway, it's still running a little bit lean. So, maybe I'll adjust the mixture out a bit. Richen it up just on the idle. But it's already about 3 turns out. So, you know, that's quite a lot. Okay, I'm gonna head in, get some work done, take it easy.